Hello everyone, it's Saturday, July 25th, 2020, 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 Celsius. I am on my way to the boat to the Statue of Liberty's Island, Liberty Island. This is the first week that the Statue of Liberty has opened from COVID-19. Just got past security. There's not too many people here right now. I didn't really expect too many people to begin with, but there are still people willing to go to the island and see the Statue of Liberty up front, and I'm one of them. So this is the Statue Cruises boat, Lady Liberty. They have social distancing measures here. Paint on the ground indicating where people have to stand. Face covering required. But I'm excited to be a tourist again, and I live in New York.
Welcome aboard.
Hey, it's a steep ramp there. Oh, this is cool. So they have the concession stand now with plastic in between the customers and the servers. That's where I'll be going to. Now, unfortunately, the statue itself is not open to the public. Only the island is. This isn't the first time that the statue has been closed. The most recent event was after Superstorm Sandy damaged the island's infrastructure back in 2012. It took about a year for the statue to reopen again. It's so strange to be on this boat with so few people. I remember the last time I came here, I think it was January of 2018, and this boat was packed. But right now it's just me pretty much on this boat and a few other people. But if you want to see what Lady Liberty boat looks like, this is it. It was built at Port Deposit, Maryland in 1964 by the Wiley Manufacturing Company for Circle Line. So my ticket for the Statue of Liberty was 1:00 p.m., but I got to the security area around 1:07 p.m. And they told me that the time wasn't really that important. They just scanned my ticket and there'll be another boat. Hey, there's a sparrow here enjoying the outdoors. So this is the front of the boat with the Statue Cruises flag. There's some more people boarding right now. I wonder when we're going to depart. Is there another level I can go up to? I think there might be. But anyway, I need to mention about the price of the Statue of Liberty. Right now it costs $19.25 to visit the island. If you're a senior, then it costs $14, and infants age 3 and younger, I believe, are free. Previously, that $19.25 also included a boat ride to Ellis Island, which is next to Liberty Island, but that has completely closed due to COVID, so the Ellis Island visit is not included anymore. And previously, they would offer 3 different versions of the Statue of Liberty ticket. The one I have now is called the Reserve access, which just accesses the island itself. And then there's also the pedestal ticket, which allows access inside the Statue of Liberty, but due to COVID and I guess distancing measures, that has not been offered. And then there's also the Crown Reserve ticket, which gives you access to the Statue of Liberty's crown. And the crown tickets notoriously are hard to get. You'll need to wait like months in order to reserve a ticket because they let so few people up every day to go to the crown. And people have a misconception that the public can access the torch. But the torch used to be able to be accessed, but I think that was only for a short while. And because they saw some structural damage to the torch and some public safety issues with it, they stopped letting the people up the torch. But that was a long, long time ago. Let's go up to the top level. Be nice to see. Oh, this is nice. The boat does rock, by the way, so just keep that in mind. So that's it, folks. This is all the people that are here for the Statue of Liberty. Very, very surreal. And there's Battery Park, downtown Manhattan. You can just barely make out the One World Trade Center. You can see the antenna easily, but only about the 1/3 of the side of the building can be seen from this angle. I wonder when we're leaving. Right now it's 1:29 p.m. Maybe it leaves every half an hour, I'm not sure. Well, this top concession stand is closed. There's Jersey City in the background. Well, that answered my question. It's 1:30. That's the horn to move. I think I'll go to the second floor deck because it's just so sunny up here. I'll save my walking around for the island itself.
Welcome aboard Statue Cruises Lady Liberty. Please let me have your attention for a brief safety announcement about this vessel. The exit doors are located at the forward and aft ends of each cabin. The main stairways are located at the rear of each deck, and a small safety stairway is located forward on each deck. Please use only the rear stairways during normal conditions. Life jackets are stored in overhead racks on the first and second decks, and in storage boxes on the top deck. Instructions for donning life jackets are posted around the vessel. Life rings are positioned on the top deck forward, and both forward and aft on the first and second decks. Also, several life floats are stored on the top deck. We do not anticipate using any of this equipment, but feel free to contact a crew member if you have any questions. Security is also a concern for all. Please do not leave any bags or packages unattended, and be sure to take all of your belongings with you when you disembark. If you observe anything that seems out of the ordinary, please bring it to the attention of the captain or a crew member. Thank you for your attention. We hope you enjoy your trip.
All right, we're leaving. onward to the Statue of Liberty, which symbolizes New York City is open again for business, partially anyway. Maybe we'll get some information from this speaker about the statue. I'll try not to speak too much if they start talking. Should be a short boat ride over there. Now I'll give you some facts about the Statue of Liberty. It was a gift from France. It was sent in 1885 in 300 different pieces. And you believe that 300 different pieces of the statue, and they had to put it together. In fact, the torch, the arm with the torch, wasn't part of that 300 pieces. It was actually in Madison Square Park for 6 years to raise money for the construction of the Statue of Liberty. It was designed by the French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, and I said it was a gift from France for the American Revolution under one condition, and that was that the United States had to build a pedestal. So they actually built the pedestal on top of Fort Wood on Bedloe's Island, which was the original name of this island. The name Liberty Island was only given to this statue in 1956 when Congress changed the name. The interior of the statue was designed by Gustave Eiffel, same person who designed the Eiffel Tower. And when the Statue of Liberty came to the United States, it was completely brown, like the color of copper. That's what the material that the Statue of Liberty is made out of. But as scientists know, copper oxidizes and turns green. So as early as 1900, the statue was installed in 1885. So only about like 15 years later, the statue was oxidizing and starting to turn green. And in 1920, it actually turned completely green. It was actually half green and half brown at one point. And a fun fact about the statue, it originally wasn't meant to be a peace monument. It was originally designed to be a lighthouse, and the lighthouse was on the torch. So that actually did not work well because the torch was so dim, and I think the torch was only lit for about 2 years or so as a lighthouse. And Bartholdi actually wanted to make the statue gold, but that proved to be too expensive, so they scrapped that idea. The statue is 151 feet tall. And back in 1916, there were German U-boats. And that was the time during World War I that arrived across the Atlantic Ocean. They came here to New York Harbor, and they sabotaged some shipments that were meant to be sent to the UK and France for World War I. And they were able to destroy these shipments, and these shipments were full of dynamite. And when this happened, it was called the Black Tom explosion, and it was like a mini earthquake struck New York City. There were even trembles felt as far south as, I think, Washington, D.C. That was how bad it was. But some of the shrapnel from the explosion, it hit Liberty Island and damaged the torch. And what we see now on the Statue of Liberty is not the original torch. The original torch is actually located inside Fort Wood. But because I know that the statue is closed today, we won't be able to see it. And that Black Tom explosion happened in what is now Liberty State Park. But after that German U-boat explosion, that's when the torch was closed to the public. indefinitely. Take a look at this side. There's downtown Jersey City. Here's Ellis Island, the National Immigration Center. If you talk to people of older generation who have immigrated to the U.S., probably about 80% plus would say they had to travel through Ellis Island if they had to come through the eastern part of the U.S., because this was where everybody came to go through customs and get checked and everything. In fact, my grandparents had history here on Ellis Island, and they immigrated through Ellis Island. That was a long time ago. And I don't know when Ellis Island will open up again, but I know when it does, I'll definitely want to go visit again. There's a lot of history in there. There's also a lot of different rooms in there. And that museum inside the Ellis Island building is so large, you could practically spend the day here just visiting Ellis Island and the Immigration Museum. The thing is too, with Ellis Island, there's a debate on who owns the island. Either New York or New Jersey owns the island, and it was actually decided by the U.S. Supreme Court that the original part of Ellis Island belongs to New York, and the area around New York belongs to New Jersey, and the landfill that was used to expand the island belongs to New Jersey. Of course, this was like impossible to administer, so the two states have made an agreement with each other to split the taxes like accordingly, according to that resolution. Here's another boat, Statue Cruises. I think it's going to either Liberty State Park or back to Battery Park, Manhattan. You can see we're getting very close to the Statue of Liberty right now. In fact, where I am right now is actually New Jersey. I am in the waters of New Jersey, but Liberty Island is New York City in Manhattan. It's called an exclave, and there are numerous exclaves like this around the world. But if you gave someone a test and you asked them which state is the Statue of Liberty located in, if they say either New Jersey or New York, they're correct, because it's both correct. It is a nice day out, with the exception of the heat that is. Now that I'm getting closer to the Statue of Liberty, I realize how weathered this statue is. I mean, this thing is just crazy old right now. 2020 minus 1885 is 135 years old, so of course it's not going to be looking as marvelous as it once did, but the symbol is still there. By the way, the Statue of Liberty is named after the Roman goddess of freedom, Libertas. She wears a crown with 7 points, symbolizing the 7 continents of the world, along with the 7 oceans. And the tablet that Libertas is holding is called the New Colossus. And that was written by Emil Lazarus, the New Colossus. Inscribed in the tablet are the dates of the U.S. Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776. And the Statue of Liberty wears a broken shackle and chain. Many people passing by New York City into Ellis Island saw the statue as a symbol of freedom. Here's an excellent shot of the statue coming up now. Beautiful. I tell you, for $19.25, you get a circular view of this island. It's worth it. Well, they want to make it worth it anyway. Excellent shot of New York Harbor, Brooklyn Bridge, downtown Manhattan, also Governor's Island, you can see in the background. Looks like we might be arriving soon. Yep, the boat's turning. By the way, there's also a new museum for the Statue of Liberty. I think it's in that building over there. I have not been inside there since my last and only visit was about 2 years ago. They built that museum in 2019, I believe. I'm not sure if that museum will be open to the public. It would be nice if it was, but I do understand the need for safety and public health, why they would want to close it, or why it's restrictive. This boat is called the Miss Freedom. All right. We are just about to dock. ferry staff is getting ready to secure the boat. And just like last time when I came here, there's a seagull greeting me. And that's how they secure the boat, folks. All right, let's go. My first time to the Statue of Liberty in 2 years. So strange to be on a boat with so few people and tourists. All right, they're lowering the ramp slowly.
Step up, watch your step, and hold the handrails while moving onto the lawn or off of the gangway.
All right, let's go.
Watch your step on the gangway, folks. Hold the handrails on your way down. Kindly watch your step, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, this is a very
Nice
steep
liberty,
ramp.
folks. Watch your step.
All right. All right, Statue of Liberty. Woo! And there's all the happy faces coming to visit the symbol of freedom. That is the Statue of Liberty. Hello, Seagull. I remember you were in my last video too. So we'll find out what's open here and what's not. Hopefully the concession places are open and some interior places, but I'll be kind of bummed if it's just the outside that's open. Although that's what I'm expecting. By the way, I have T-Mobile cell phone service. I've got 1 bar here out of 5, so T-Mobile probably won't work well here. All right, thank you. So now they have COVID safety alerts. This was never here before. So there's a gift shop, the cafeteria, and restrooms to the right. I assume those are open right now.
Audio guides are included with your visit here today, folks. Make sure you pick yours up before walking around.
Let's check this out first. I'm curious what the gift shop and the food court is. So they have separate lines, one for the food court and one for the gift shop. All right, so the food court's open. I didn't expect there to be too much food here, but that's cool to see. You can see here what I described before on the boat, the new Colossus and the Lazarus. And the gift shop is here. Yeah, gift shop is open, as well as the restrooms if you need it. Oh, that's not an exit. Exit this way. These seagulls are excited. And noisy. Here's the ice cream and snack stall. You know what? Before I go around this way, I want to go back and show you the flagpole. Wow, I can't believe this video is already half an hour. Just because the statue itself is not open does not mean that this trip was for vain, because there's a lot of ground on this island, on Liberty Island. All right, back here. I'm glad I went over to the side there because I wanted to know what was open, what was not, so people who come to visit, they know what to expect. And there's the audio guide, as they were saying, it was included for free. Oh wow, you can go into the refreshment area from here too. I went around the other way. Here's the National Park Service Information Center. There's also emergency medical services in there. And to my left is the new Statue of Liberty Museum, which was not open back in 2018 when I first visited. Maybe I can go in there. But the original torch of the Statue of Liberty is located in that museum. Before, in 2018, when I came, it was located inside Fort Wood, which is underneath the Statue of Liberty and underneath the pedestal. Let's see if the museum's open or not. Even if it isn't, the torch is still visible from the glass. Yeah, the museum's closed. It says area closed, do not enter, unfortunately. Just the outdoors is open. It's too much of a risk for them to open the insides. Here it is, folks, the original torch from the outside of the museum. Also a reflection of Lady Liberty in the background. You can see the back. There it is in front of me, Lower Manhattan and Ellis Island. Let's see what's at the top of this museum. I'm really impressed with what they did with this museum. This is a really nice addition to this island. There's also a bronze face of the Statue of Liberty, I believe, inside that museum. We'd love to know more about it, but unfortunately it's closed. All right.
What those? Relax, relax. What are those things?
Whoa, this is such a great view of the Statue of Liberty from the back. I mean, I don't get too excited about rear views, but this is a rear view that's outstanding, to say the least. I took a few pictures for myself. All right, let's go down and then walk around the island to the front of the statue, because that's the main attraction, right? To be on the island itself with the front of the statue facing you, and then you take pictures. It's interesting that they have this railing here. But really nice addition to this island, at least the top of the museum. I can't speak for the museum itself because it is closed. But the way the torch was presented from the outside is very nice. That was the original torch that was damaged by the Black Tom explosion in 1916 by the German U-boats. I think U-boats were the early form of submarines. I wonder what this reads over here. Oh, it says immigration processing in New York. So this is going to talk about Ellis Island. The Immigrant Processing Center.
They were to the right of that.
And then some information about Lower Manhattan. Interesting that they close off these binoculars. You can't even use them, but understandably so, because they don't want people sharing the binoculars with each other and spreading illness. Before there was a statue here, Bedloe's Island was used for harbor defense. That's why this fort was built on this island, Fort Wood. Because every boat that sailed through New York had to pass by this island. Little bit unimpressive that all we get on this island is just to walk around it, and we don't get to go into the statue, but at least you get gorgeous, gorgeous views of Manhattan, New Jersey, Staten Island, and of course the statue itself. Right now the view of the statue is obscured by the trees. Oh, there's a view of the statue. Here it is, the history of Liberty Island. Oh wow, it's even known as Minisace or Lesser Island by the Canarsie Indian tribe. There's also other names, Love Island, Kennedy, Great Oyster, and Corporation Island before Bedloe's Island. You see here they have some lemonade stands and some concessions. Hey! So beautiful. This area is closed off. That pier actually looks a little bit unstable to me. But there's the statue. Great angle of the Statue of Liberty. You know, many New Yorkers don't even come to visit the Statue of Liberty. And I'm actually very fortunate I went to visit the Statue of Liberty at the time I did, because who knows when the statue will reopen to tourists itself. I mean, when the statue itself will reopen. New Yorkers, they kind of have that feeling that, oh, I can always visit the Statue of Liberty because I live here. But we always take it for granted sometimes. There's another boat coming in.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Impressive. Hey. All right, folks. I think I'll end this video here. I feel like it's getting a little bit drawn out now. Why not end it with a selfie of myself? Liberty symbols. All right, folks. If you enjoyed this video of the Statue of Liberty, be sure to smash that like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already to the channel, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you all next time. Take care, folks. Bye-bye, and I hope you enjoyed it. Take care.